At first, when I was going through the symptoms in my 30s, we honestly thought I had cancer. We thought I was dying. Finally, they found that I was perimenopausal. I thought I had to be in my 60s or my 70s to go through menopause.
In this week's episode, I'm joined by Emma Atherton, wife, mum of 5, community leader, as well as the founder and managing director of Liberty Women's Wellness.
Went to see doctors and I looked fine and I was so young. They dismissed my symptoms. It felt just worse than the ordinary.
It's an episode about more than signs, symptoms, or statistics. It's about the noise women carry in silence and the courage to start conversations that can change families, communities, and lives.
You do hear the term perimenopause and menopause a lot more now.
It's that warrior shield. You need to embrace it. You're not dying even though you feel like I can't do this anymore. This body's just not dealing with it.
Emma, welcome.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm excited to dive into our conversation today. We've been wanting to catch up for a little while now.
We're finally here.
Yeah, all the busyness of life.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Emma, as a wife, a mum, business owner, and obviously the term Wonder Woman in Greater Springfield has been thrown out there as well. When you think of noise of life, what does it mean to you?
The noise of life. I think having children is definitely number one. It's a beautiful noise, can I say? Priceless, and I wouldn't give them back. I just think they're the perfect balance to, what myself and Adam do in the community. So it's definitely the life of noise for me.
Yeah, perfect. And obviously, yourself and Adam are very involved in the community, very involved with, business and supporting as much as you can. And really it's about involving the family in that as well.
Yeah, that's correct. We involve the children in pretty much most of our activities in the community, even while they were in my belly. So opening new clinics with them in my belly and then newborns in my arms, really just learning from, the fact that we love giving back to the community with what we do in healthcare. And so with them being part of this, they also feel like they're taking part, but they're also giving back. And then we're hoping that that's planted a seed within them to also continue on with their life, to do the same.
Yeah, perfect. Now, you founded Liberty Women's Wellness, and you're the managing director there. Tell me, where was that fueled from?
Yeah, that was from my personal experience with my health journey. So obviously being a business owner, helping my husband with Orion Family Physio for so many years, and then also having the children, which we have 5, and balancing all of that. No one could see that I was also suffering with my health. So with our 5th child at the age of 37, the postpartum period was really different. It felt just worse than the ordinary. And after having so many kids, you sort of figure out, is this normal? Is this not? So, went to see doctors, and because I looked fine and I was so young, they dismissed my symptoms. That eventually, after 2 years of consistently going to GPs and saying something's not right, and then talking to people and doing our own research, finally they found that I was perimenopausal by the age of 38, 39, and pretty much went through 5 years of that absolute horrific symptoms that was not talked about, right? So, and obviously with the research at the time, women were going through menopause or perimenopause at 55. So, I've come from someone that's that 10% of perimenopause early stages to then now going through menopause and then now post-menopause at 44. That then pushed me to really look around in our community and see there was nothing for women to receive that support that they needed. And so with that, the heart of, for women in our community, with my own suffering, with Adam's help, we put together Liberty Women's Wellness. So it's really a mission and a vision to support women through their healthcare, not just through menopause, but postpartum and endometriosis, pelvic pain, pretty much anything women's health. Because if I go back to my menopause journey, I had pelvic pain. They found that I do have some endometriosis and adenomyosis, and these things I was able to understand about the pain. And then also when you have a baby, when you're pregnant, there's so many things that women shouldn't ignore, and that they should know that there is help and they shouldn't deal with it silently. So, yeah, that's why the clinic was created. And I guess in that journey with the women that supported me, so that holistic support for women's care, most of those women actually work with me at Liberty. So, and knowing that they're locals and they have the heart for women, that's just perfect.
Yeah, and it definitely fills a gap for those people that normally have to go into the city. Everything gets
Yes.
like the specialists, they're all in the city.
Yes, and that was happening to me. Being a business owner, having children at school, newborn, it was really hard to make the time to go to the city, go to one specialist after another, go for blood tests, go for scans. It got to a point where I said, "Oh, I can't. I don't have time. Stuff it. I'll do it some other time." I literally was so bad that I had to take that time off. And it wasn't good for the family for me to go downhill because they needed my help. So, because I put myself last because of the time, it was a disturbing factor for my family for me to go get all these tests. Yeah, I just, yeah, ended up pretty bad with symptoms that affected, my body so much that I'm finally better now with the support. But I didn't have to go to that point, and that's why I thought, well, we've got a beautiful city that's growing here, and women deserve to have it right here at home where they could still balance their own family and work life and get those appointments done and get some support.
Yeah. In your role as managing director, and obviously the specialists that are aligned with you and work within Liberty Women's Wellness, what would you say is the loudest noise when it comes to women's health at the moment?
Oh, besides menopause, definitely pelvic pain. We're seeing a lot of talk around what pelvic pain is with all the specialists on team. So, I mean, I've got a gynecologist, an endocrinologist, pelvic health physios, dietitian, naturopaths, acupuncturists. Just even in their scope, they're seeing a lot of pelvic pain, and seeing that a holistic approach in managing the pain and helping women through it really means that we need an entire team. So that's one of the loudest noise besides menopause. But then when you're going through menopause, pelvic pain is also there.
It's a team approach. If
Totally, yeah.
one finds something, it's like, well, actually, I'll refer you to this, and I'll refer, and it's kind of working on making sure that everything is kind of a one-stop shop, I suppose.
Yes, that's exactly right. It's a one-stop shop when we have psychologists and counselors, and we do workshops, classes for women. We try to listen to what is actually coming through the doors, and then we come together and figure out what workshops can actually help women in our community, because every community is different. Obviously, there's a lot of talk around endometriosis and menopause, and obviously pelvic pain. But each community has certain topics that are, a need. And that's where I come with pelvic pain, because whether you're pregnant, postpartum, menopausal, endometriosis, pelvic pain is one of the big factors in all those areas. And we're seeing that in clinic.
I was reading a statistic yesterday, and it's estimated 7 million women right now in Australia are either living with perimenopause or menopause.
Yep, that's correct. Yep. And
That's a staggering number.
it's huge. And because we never talked about it 10 years ago,
Mm.
and we're finally talking about it, there's now that awareness. And you're also, when you talk about it, it's not like, oh, we don't talk about this. It's something that you keep quiet, or it's so taboo. No, it's reality. It's the same scenario as if young girl gets her period, or you go through postpartum. It's pretty similar to that, but because it's an older age, it's like, oh, you're getting old, or you're not needed anymore, you're going through menopause. It's actually not the case. It's part of our lifespan. I tell women that you need to embrace it. It's that warrior shield that you're receiving, and it's your body telling you, hey, a little bit of a tap, there's some areas here that you need to probably have some supplements, maybe change your exercise routine, maybe bring down your cortisol levels. Like, how do you manage your stress? Look at your environment. It's like your body's telling you, hey, I'm preparing you for what's to come because your bones need it, your mental health needs it, your heart needs it. So that's the way I try to, represent menopause. And I'm post-menopause, and I don't look that old, but I'm still very active. I go to the gym, I exercise, I try to meditate. Obviously we're Christians, so I meditate with scriptures, and I pray to try to connect the spiritual side of me, because we're body, spirit, and soul, right? So we need to look after our temple. So I try to help women to understand that you need to look at yourself and just try to bring down the cortisol level, try to take one day at a time. Let's look at what's going on, and let's, give you the right clinician to support you. And we're starting to see the link where all the clinicians are interacting for that one client coming through, and women are actually getting the help they need. And also with healthcare, it's not one pill that fixes everything. I'm finding that there's that holistic approach. Every woman's different, so their journey's different, and the way they are supported will be different. And it's really important to validate every woman with what they're going through. And when there's that validation for the woman in particular, it just feels like, wow, someone's heard me. I'm going to bring my walls down and actually receive the support that I deserve and need.
Yeah. For those that are listening that have been living under a rock or in the dark, can you explain what perimenopause and menopause is?
Yeah, so perimenopause is basically the first stage where you start having symptoms. It could be that your period and menstruation starts to change. It either goes really heavy or you start skipping a few periods. That's one of the usual symptoms. And then there's hot flushes, there's night sweats, also low libido, weight gain. Even though you might be a CrossFitter, but you're starting to see a few body changes, brain fog, insomnia. They're the usual that's been highlighted, but there's probably about 2 to 250 other symptoms that every woman could go through, but they're the main ones. So that's pretty much the first stage. It's basically the body just saying, hey, there's a change coming, and there's no real, time frame. You could either go through perimenopause for a few months, up to 10 years until you go menopausal. And when you go to menopause, that's the second stage, and that's the stage where, your periods have left you, and there's no more eggs, and you could either continue with those symptoms or you don't. And then that's an important stage where, you've got your bone density that you need to really focus on building muscle and supporting your body with that. But then there's also post, which is the third stage. Post-menopause, there's a lot of talk about, woohoo, it's done. I don't have to worry anymore. It's over. It's actually not the case. It's when you really need to continue and be consistent with your, nourishment and supporting your body. And that stage, a lot of women say that they feel great, they're stable, but then there are a certain percentage that continue with the symptoms, but not as hard. So they're the three stages.
So prior to what you know now, what did you think was true prior to joining this journey?
Well, I thought I had to be in my 60s or my 70s to go through menopause. I thought to myself, oh, I've got a long way to go. I don't have to worry. At first, when I was going through the symptoms in my 30s, we honestly thought I had cancer. We thought I was dying because my symptoms were they look like cancer, that it just brought a lot of concerns. So yeah, I didn't know, but it allowed me to really look at my mum's journey as well. And that brought a lot of trauma back, unfortunately, because I do remember my mum went through perimenopause at the age of 40. And there was, back in those days, she was accused of having psychiatric issues. and technically after 10 years, she was told that actually it was menopause that you were going through. We're so sorry. And so that traumatized us as young girls, my three sisters, because we lost our mum emotionally. And because she wasn't receiving that support, she was away from us and she couldn't connect. And so that brought back a lot of memories, but it was so comforting to then have that conversation for once with my mum, because it prepared me, and it allowed me then to speak to my husband and the children to let them know what was happening with me. Because I think if I was given that awareness at as a 13-year-old that my mum was going through that, I think I would have taken it better, and I probably wouldn't have been so traumatized with losing my mum during that time. So yeah, I didn't really know much until I started to dig deep and look at the research.
Yeah. I walked into the gym the other day and I was in the wellness area, and I walked into the sauna, and there was a bunch of ladies and they were having a conversation. They're like, "Oh, we can't talk about it now." I'm like, "Oh, what did I walk into?" And they were talking about perimenopause and menopause, and I said, "Oh, I think the conversation, men have to be part of the conversation,
Yeah.
because we're partners, husbands, we're leaders, we're colleagues. It's out there in the community, and I think the conversation has to be open. And I actually like that you do hear the term perimenopause and menopause a lot more now.
Yeah, it's so important. And I have four boys. They need to know that their sister is having her period. They need to understand what she's going through. They need to understand mummy's just having one of those days, or mum's just forgot where she left the coffee. Oh, well, she's having these symptoms. I think when we embrace it and we talk about it, especially with men, our husbands, in particular, it's you have that united front on dealing with what you're going through. It's so important for men to know what the stages are, how they can support. You can't change it. That's the other thing. Men can't change it, but they can support by understanding, by being there. Because there are days that you have your down days where your libido drops, your mental health, you start struggling, and you feel that anxiety and depression and fatigue. And when you feel like you have, your husband in particular, when you feel like they have that support and they just hold you and say, everything's going to be okay, I'm with you, what can I do for you? That validation means the world to us. So, and I think it's important for men to know, because, it's that connection as well that you have with your partner. So, and then again, for the children, I think it's important because they're also going to go through it as well. So it needs to be an open conversation.
Was it hard to start and have that courage to have that open conversation with Adam?
No, actually, Adam and I are very open from day one. So, and if just to be very honest, it was Adam that brought it up. So I was, because of my mum's situation, and I wasn't very aware what my mum was going through. At the age of 40, it didn't actually click that I was going through the same thing. And like I said, he brought a lot of trauma out. But Adam was the one that started to investigate, started to talk to doctors. He started to do the research and said, "Babe, I really think you're going through menopause." And I went, "No way, I'm too young. That's what the doctors are saying." He said, "No, you're going through menopause. I've had a look at your bloods. The doctors are saying everything's fine. There's nothing wrong with you. This doesn't make sense. And you're ticking all the boxes." So he's the one that actually brought it up. And I was the one that was feeling really uncomfortable, because it was something that we never talked about at home, in our community. And it was also a mindset of like, oh, am I getting old? Am I not worth it anymore? That's basically it was going around in my head. And so he made it really easy to talk to. And we've gone through the journey together, because I think it was really important for him to see what was happening. And if you look at the research now, I don't know if you know, about a month ago, it's only in Australian research, 69% of women between 45 and 55 are going through divorce. They're changing their jobs, their environment, because they aren't feeling supported. And they think by getting out of that would make a change, but it's actually they're going through potentially perimenopause and menopause.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's important to
Yeah,
talk about it.
Yeah. So talk to me about obviously what Adam would have been seeing and what you're feeling. So Adam would have been seeing a lot of signs,
Yeah.
and you would have obviously been feeling a lot of symptoms internally. What was Adam saying, and what were you feeling?
So he started seeing my mood changes, a lot of fatigue, skin rashes. He's like, this isn't normal in you. There's got to be something else. He started seeing, low libido. We're very open with all this kind of information. I wasn't very active within the family, was feeling rather depressed. I wasn't really available for the children and him, and really emotional. And he was just like, something's not right, something's wrong. And at the beginning, I lost a lot of weight. I couldn't keep food down. And if I go back to my memories with my mum, that's exactly what happened to her. She went from being a vibrant woman, very community, in the community, doing everything. Like, I remember my mum never sat down, to then all of a sudden she was in bed. She lost like 10, 20 kilos, could barely keep water down. That pretty much was happening to me. So I was feeling all the symptoms, but Adam was seeing this, and it was red flags for him. Something's wrong with my wife. I need to do something about it. So for him, it was really emotional as well, because as a man, he wants to help, he wants to fix it, and he couldn't fix it. So we did go through counselling as well. We found that that was really important for us, because it gave us the space to talk freely with someone in the middle to help us both understand. And we found that that was so powerful for us, because you could do it in the lounge and over dinner, but when you don't, if you can't both see each other's sides, then you need that extra support. So we found that having someone that was experienced in connecting couples, it was so powerful. And I felt validated. He felt validated, because obviously with what I was going through, it was affecting him.
So if you could sum it up in one conversation that, a husband and wife or partners need to have during perimenopause or menopause, what would that conversation be?
I think a conversation, validating each other's emotions. That's the biggest thing. Validating that this is how you feel when you respond to this, and so on. I think validating each other's emotions and thinking. And I think, really just letting each other know that you still love each other. You're still the same person, but you're struggling. You're struggling and you need their support.
Yeah. When I speak to a lot of men in that kind of middle age group, which I'm in as well, and it's interesting because we have conversations, and I think there's a lot of themes that come up. It's like, oh, why are we fighting about small, like kind of everyday things? And it's like it's like we're nitpicking, and we're kind of almost there's this friction, and there's obviously a lot of this. A lot of these things are having obviously a huge impact on relationships. As you say,
Yeah.
divorces, the highest rate of divorce is between kind of
Mm.
45 and 55, which is crazy. The other
Yeah.
statistic as well is that, the two highest age groups for suicide for women
Yeah.
is between 44 and 55.
Yep, you're correct. And that, I did forget to bring that point up. It's actually increasing, and it's really scary. And it's purely because of what we're going through, and we're not being validated, we're not being heard. I find as women, as long if you can't fix it, as long as you can hear her validate that it's not in her head, it's really happening, and that there is support, and we'll find it, or we'll do it together. If you're in a marriage or in a part, as couples, it's a starting point, right? And we are seeing a lot of suicides, and they're very quiet. There's not so much on the news about it, but yeah, it's increasing, which is quite scary. And I think that's why it's so important to talk about this, because if a woman feels like no one's listening to her and that it's all in her head, then she goes down a dark hole.
Yeah, it from a mental health perspective, it's interesting. Women are feeling emotions and feelings. Men are feeling
Mm,
emotions and feelings at different points in their life as well. And then both are impacting as well. So it's kind of like almost a double whammy effect as
Yeah.
well. That's what's happening out there in the community.
It is, and that's where I go back to the counselling or psychology. Those couple sessions, even though there may not be obvious factors of why you need to go to counselling, I think every year just touching base with a counsellor and just talking to someone and just really having that sounding board. And if there is an issue, you can go through it in a safe space. There's sometimes even talking to each other, you just may not get anywhere. Adam and I have a really good open conversation relationship wise. We're very like if we feel like we're not handling something well, we're very open about it. We talk about it, but not everyone's like that, and you need that support. But we still go to counselling every year. We do a few weeks and then we touch base and see how we go. I think it's really healthy. So when it comes to perimenopause and menopause, I highly recommend a lot of women to receive some mental health support. It doesn't have to be a psychologist. It could be a counselor. It could be a wellness coach. It really just has to fit for you. Just to have that sounding board and to just go through the emotions in a safe space.
Yeah. So for women listening to this, having struggles in their relationships with their emotions, their feelings, what's your biggest advice to them?
Well, going through the stages of menopause, I guess, I just say to women, make sure you stop, listen to your body, listen to your heart, listen to your soul, go get checked. Just look at it as a holistic approach to your health and definitely find a clinic or a support group that can help you through this journey. I'm not saying everyone come to Liberty, as much as I'd love to have as many women come through. If you're in Perth or Sydney, find a group that can support you through this journey, and make sure you're open about it and discuss what you're going through, because it's not just in your head.
Yeah. And I think one of the key things as well, I speak about it from a mental health perspective, is the first step is the GP, but the
Yeah.
GP isn't the person that's going to be able to help you through it all. They don't have all the different parts of the recipe, I suppose, to help you through that journey.
Yeah, they are the starting point, and now GPs. I'm not sure about Australia wide, but I know here in Queensland, GPs now have a. I think they have 20 minutes where they can discuss and start the topic about menopause. If there is a woman that's coming through that wants to explore and see if that's what's happening, so they are the starting point, and then you have clinics like Liberty that have specialists and allied health professionals that can continue on with the journey. And again, still touching base with your GP, 'cause it's always important to go back to them.
Yeah. Now, from a support and an awareness perspective, men listening to this that are, that have got partners and wives in that middle age, that are going through, they're noticing a lot of those signs that Adam would have been noticing in you. How do they start the conversation? How do they approach that subject? Because there's probably a bit of fear around that.
Yeah, there is, because you don't know if you're going to be punched in the face. It can be, you can get her angry. I guess everyone's different. If I put myself in that space, I was pretty upset because I thought, am I getting old? And it's not what I want to talk about. But obviously now day and age, I think women are quite open to discussing this. But for men, I think to be really vulnerable, be vulnerable about it. Just find a time where she's calm and just have the discussion. Hey, is there something going on that you want to talk about? Are you feeling okay? Is there anything that I can help you with? And I think having those kind of conversations where you're both meeting each other at the same level, and again, just ask and see, where do you need me to help you? And women tend to just go, yep, I'm feeling this. I don't like when you do this. I don't like when you do that. Okay, well, yeah, that's fine. What could I do to make a change? Is there anything else that you want to talk about? And just start the conversation like that. Some women are pretty open and they just go straight to it. Oh, I think I'm feeling this and that. I'm getting these symptoms, and that's an open door for you to go. Oh, did you want to go to the GP and start discussing and see where you can receive that support so you can feel better? Um, so with that, that's what we went through. And for me, exercise is a big thing. Exercise is usually my stress reliever. If I get a run, lift weights, go boxing, it's like, wow, you've just lifted a massive heaviness off me. So Adam knew very well that he needed to respect that, which meant early morning, Emma's waking up, I need to look after the kids. And feeling that he validated that would help me with my symptoms and my mental health, that meant a lot.
Obviously there's an impact on the family dynamic
Mm.
and kids as well. From a dad perspective, what does Adam learn, I suppose, or what does a partner need to learn on how to manage that dynamic when their partner's going through these challenges and struggles?
Yeah, so with what we did, we actually sat down with the children. We tend to do that once a week where we sit down and we connect and we talk about, how you're going with school and life. And it's just because we're so busy, we try to connect once a week. And that's pretty much what happened. He discussed with the children about, hey, mum's going through this. Let's just be respectful. Let's help her out in the kitchen and anywhere else she needs help, and really helping the children understand that where they can be of assistance. And then gradually they've picked it up, and they naturally just come to me. And if they see that things aren't done, they ask me, "Hey, Mum, did you want me to do this? Is there anything else I can help with?" And that's all of them. So I think starting that conversation, and it's good that Adam himself actually started that conversation with the children. I think it's important for them to be aware that they also have to pick up their weight and be supportive.
And I think a lot of topics and a lot of conversations that I'm hearing and now having are being had with children and in a
Mm,
family kind of dynamic is very good, because they were definitely not conversations that were had in our homes. My
no,
parents didn't have the conversation. Their parents didn't. Their parents are, so we're shifting that dynamic and we're
yeah,
shifting the conversation, which I think is healthy. Um,
yes,
the birds and the bees talk, and the talk around sexuality and the talk around a lot of things now are very open and being probably talked about at a younger age. But I think social media has a big
yeah,
impact on that as well, because so much is being shown to our kids and the younger
mm,
generations a lot sooner than what they were when we were younger.
yeah. I agree. I think it's important. It starts at home. It's in that safe space where they could ask those questions and really get the right answers, than having to go on social media and see it beforehand. I think that's very important. So, I think it's important to be open about conversations. It also gives them an opportunity to be open of what they're going through, instead of seeking external help. It's all about creating that safe space.
Yeah, I've done a lot of research on the topic of perimenopause and menopause over the last, couple of years, and it's interesting. Another, I suppose, term that's out there is the ADHD, and
Yeah.
some of the research around how women in perimenopause and menopause, it actually they may not have been experiencing as much in their life, but it
Mm,
sends it into an overdrive in
yeah.
perimenopause and menopause. So there's that kind of late diagnosis of ADHD. Are
Mm.
you seeing a lot of that?
Yeah, certainly, certainly. Definitely seeing women being triggered. There's a lot of talk about it, but not hugely in clinic. Like it's definitely a discussion, and I think again that's with everything that menopause brings to the table. It's that your body's just creating that awareness.
For women listening right now, what's one truth you would like them to know right now?
You're not dying. You're not dying, even though you feel like I can't do this anymore. This body's just not dealing with it. Um, just know that you're an amazing, powerful woman. Uh, you know, it's part of your warrior shield, I call it. that it's like a wisdom streak, right? So if you're experiencing all these symptoms and you're going through the stages of perimenopause and menopause, just know that you can talk about it, reach out to, a safe space or your partner and just get the support that you deserve.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
perfect. Obviously, there's a lot of noises in life, as you mentioned,
Mm,
being a mum, being a wife, and then you've got all the health, the health, mental health, physical, emotional, spiritual,
yeah.
all those things that come into it. If there's someone there right now that's feeling really overwhelmed with the noise of life, what's the advice there?
I would say stop and find a place that you could reflect and meditate. Find that quiet space in your world, even if it's just a few minutes. Just breathe in and breathe out and find that space. It's not easy at times, but I think it's really important to just really be in the moment and try to meditate and just calm yourself down so you can then go back to what you need to deal with.
Yeah. And you've mentioned a few things, but what calms the noise for you and what helps you through the noise of life?
For me, exercise. Even if it means just going out for a walk around the block, it means that I'm stopping and I'm actually moving my body. So my lymphatics can work, my thoughts can just so I can go through my thoughts and try to handle it and how I'm feeling. I just find that moving the body is the key for me personally, and I think for many women it is too.
Yeah, perfect. And has there been any other tools or strategies that you've used, through your life that you find help your, kind of wellness and well-being?
Yeah, besides exercise, I find I do get acupuncture a few times a month and lymphatic massages. I find that going through menopause, your system, your lymphatics and even your metabolism starts to really slow down. And I find that that supports my body a lot. And also connecting with people, just
Mm.
just going out for a walk and a coffee and just talking about life. And just I find the community interaction is really supportive.
Yeah, that human connection is a
Yeah.
very, very important point in life. I find sometimes, even for me as a male, if I haven't connected with someone or caught
Mm.
up for a coffee, or it's kind of like, oh, that human connection kind of re-energizes me.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly right. If you isolate yourself, you go down a dark hole, and it's your whole body and everyone else around you that is affected. So you definitely connect with people, even if it's one person that you just go out for a coffee and go for a walk. I find going out into nature and getting some sunlight and talking to someone, having a bit of a laugh, it really, really, really helps.
Yeah, perfect. Well, the conversation today has been really amazing. We've touched on a very important topic and some really important strategies and tools that you've shared, which will be helping not just women, but also men listening to this as well. For
Mm.
those that want to connect with you, Emma, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Liberty Women's Wellness. There's the email there. There's the info, but if you put an Emma at the front with at libertywomenswellness.com.au, you can definitely reach me through there. Happy to chat with anyone and support where I can, and as well as my team.
Well, thanks for joining me today and sharing your knowledge and your experience. And I really just want to honour and acknowledge the courage it's taken to set up what you've set up, but also to just kind of build something that women have needed, especially in the Western Corridor. But I know,
Mm,
women in the community, I hear it all the time now. Oh, Emma at Liberty Women's Wellness, or some of the other specialists there as well. So it's being talked about, and I think it's an important piece that's playing a part in the lives of many women, which is just fantastic
mm,
because that makes them be, you know, better women and
yeah.
better wives, better colleagues, better leaders,
Mm.
and really empowers them to be the best version of themselves in the world.
Thank you so much, Steve. Yeah, you're right, and it blesses me so much just hearing that. I get emotional. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just being able to help women. Sorry.
No,
But yeah, just knowing that we can help them, because of what I've gone through, I just why it just gets emotional. But yeah, if we can help women, we can help the rest of the family, which means that we can help the rest of the community. It's a healthier mentally, it's a healthier community, and I see that if we, helping the children that we're raising as well. Their mental health is so important. And again, going back, if we can help women, because of it's a horrible feeling just going through menopause for a lot of them. And it's such, you're lost sometimes. And if they could just receive that validation, that guidance, and that support through that journey, no matter how long it is, you've just given them so much support right there, that benefit. They take it home, and then there's a better environment for the rest of the family. And that's pretty much the movement that I want. Liberty isn't just a clinic, it's a movement that we're starting to, have a healthier community. So yeah,
that's
sorry for getting teary. It just gets,
no,
that's pretty
no.
much why I opened it.
I think the conversation and the reason for this episode was to share that, and
Yeah.
I'm sure there's women listening to this that have listened to this episode going, that's me. And, what I love is, the people that I invite onto the podcast, the people I interview, the people I have conversations with are people I'm drawn to because they run heart-led businesses or movements that are authentic. They're not just starting a business to make money and they're
Yeah.
wanting to make impact. They're wanting to create change and create a movement that helps people. And, that's what you and Adam have done with all your businesses and what you're doing in life. And that's what you're doing at Liberty Women's Wellness. So congratulations to you and the
Thank
team.
you.
And I just look forward to seeing it just go from strength to strength as it has in recent times.
Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate your time, and thank you for your beautiful words.
That's all right. Thanks, Emma.
Thanks.